In this video, I'm going to do my best to explain the new tax laws on rental properties in Mexico and how that affects foreigners who own and rent property. At the end of the video, I'll give a 30-second recap that will touch on everything discussed between now and then. Starting in June, the Mexican tax authorities began collecting taxes directly from digital platforms such as Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, Booking.com, etc. on income obtained from rental properties. In Mexico, all for-profit companies are subject to taxation, and there is no exception for rental activities, regardless of your citizenship or where you live. Mexican tax authorities are aware that a vast majority of people providing lodging services do not pay taxes, and therefore have been intensifying efforts to increase tax collection and to catch people trying to avoid paying taxes. Tax laws are always confusing, and probably more so as a foreigner, but I think I'm finally able to break it down with a little help from a local accountant, an attorney, the government's tax reform documents, and a few sources I found online. To rent your condo or house in Mexico, you should do the following. Number 1, get a permanent residency visa. Without citizenship, a work visa, a corporation, or a permanent residency card, you cannot work, start a business, or make money in Mexico. Number 2, go to SAT, the Tax Administration Office, which is the equivalent of the IRS in the United States, and get an RFC number, which is your tax identification number, and you also need a CURP number, which is similar to a social security number. Number 3, you must then pay monthly or bi-monthly taxes on rental income earned. I don't know how you can get an RFC and CURP number and pay Mexican taxes without an accountant. I went to the SAT office with my accountant and she held my hand throughout the process. If you plan on renting your place, then find someone with a good accountant and hire them. If you are not a resident, then you will still be taxed on your condo rental, but it will be taxed at a much higher rate since you are not legally able to rent it. If you don't provide the RFC and CURP numbers to the rental websites, then the sites will withhold a higher amount. I think it may be like a drug dealer in the States. Drug dealers still have to pay taxes on their illegal activities. If you are illegally renting your place, then the government still wants their income on that rental property. The Mexican tax authorities do not care if you only make a little bit of money renting, if you use a property manager, or if rental payments are sent to your bank in the States or Canada. They want their tax revenue, and they are coming for it. There are 2 taxes that rental property owners are required to pay: the income tax and the value-added tax, or the VAT. The value-added tax is a 16% fee on top of the rental fee. Generally, the VAT tax is considered to be paid by the renter, with the income tax paid by the owner. You can use rental expenses and deductions to cancel half of the VAT tax. However, if you don't have residency, then you will be paying the full 16% VAT tax. Once you obtain your RFC and CURP numbers, you can ask for a factura receipt for any expenses that are related to the rental of your home. From what I understand, if you are buying gasoline for your car, cleaning supplies, or anything else that is considered a business expense, then you can ask the cashier for a factura, and the amount you spend will be sent to the SAT office for deduction from your taxes owed. There's a little bit of a learning curve to the process, as it's so different to how we do deductions in the US, but much of the system here is automated, so deductions are calculated at the SAT office. The new federal income tax law requires all digital platforms like Airbnb and VRBO to provide the government information on the property owners, such as your full name or your business name, your Mexican federal taxpayer numbers, and the address of the property. The rental websites must provide to the rental owners tax receipts showing the withholdings made by stating the amount of the payment and the withheld taxes. The rental websites are also directed to withhold and pay the corresponding income tax and value-added tax no later than the 17th of the month following the month in which the withholding was made. Income tax withholdings by the rental websites will be based on the amounts obtained and the following rates. If your monthly income is less than 5,000 pesos, then the rental websites will withhold 2% of that amount. Any amount between 5,000 and 15,000 pesos, 3% will be withheld. 15,000 to 35,000 pesos in a given month, 5% will be withheld. And if you make more than 35,000 pesos in any given month, 10% of that will be withheld for income taxes. If the rental unit owners do not provide the necessary information to the rental websites that they use, income tax withholdings will be at a rate of 20%. Plus, you still will be responsible for the full 16% VAT tax. There is another way to own and rent your home in Mexico, and that is through the formation of a Mexican corporation that owns the property. If you choose to form a corporation, then you are required to have an accountant tied to the property. However, the rental websites will not withhold any income taxes, and the VAT tax will be sent to you, as you and your accountant will be responsible for all taxes. Mexican corporations need a minimum of 2 partners, but they can be 100% foreign owned. With the help of an attorney and an accountant, you can set up a corporation for about $3,000. If you are renting your home consistently online, then having residency or a corporation will ultimately save you thousands of dollars by being in a lower tax bracket and having the ability to deduct major expenses like electricity and your HOA dues. Again, without permanent residency, a work visa, citizenship, or a Mexican corporation, you are not legally allowed to make income in Mexico. Whether renting through digital platforms like VRBO and Airbnb or other authorized websites, tax legislation is clear and becoming stricter. Regardless of where the money is deposited or the nationality of the renter or owner, the income tax must be paid. The government has made it clear through this new legislation that heavy fines and penalties may be imposed if you do not pay your taxes, including penalties associated with money laundering laws. In other words, tax evasion in Mexico is considered a federal felony equivalent to organized crime. If you are a U.S. citizen, remember that the United States taxes citizens on their worldwide income. Canada taxes citizens on worldwide income unless they have officially moved their legal residence outside of Canada. If you earn any income in Mexico, it must be declared on your U.S. or Canadian tax return. You will get credit on your home country return, however, for taxes you have paid in Mexico, and cannot get double taxed. To recap, if you rent through online websites, then you will not be able to avoid paying taxes to the Mexican government. If you are a resident of Mexico, then you will pay a 2% to 10% income tax on revenue from rentals. You will collect an additional 16% VAT tax on the total rental fee from the renter. You can use rental expenses as deductions to lower your tax amounts. If you are not a resident of Mexico, then rental websites will withhold 20% of all rental income you receive. You will also collect an additional 16% VAT tax on the total rental fee that will be paid directly to the SAT office. Your effective tax rate will be 36%. This is all a bit confusing, but just take it a step at a time, and if you're trying to do the right thing, it will all work out. Good luck. If you enjoyed the video, please comment and subscribe. Thank you.